Beyonce got a lot of slack for my dad being their manager. They would say that he's treating her differently because she's his daughter.
Two other ladies decided they weren't happy with me managing the group and they wanted me to step down, saying that you were going to fire the manager without the team agreeing to that. It was not a good thing.
Beyonce was incredibly hurt by it, called the girls, tried to say to them, you know, can't we work this out? Please don't do this.
When LaTavia and LaToya left the group, it was a very emotional process. These girls had known each other for a long time. They'd all overcome very difficult hurdles.
They sacrificed a whole lot to get this group, Destiny Child, off the ground. I would never left a group of that magnitude.
Beyonce was not devastated because they left the group. She was devastated on a personal level.
It was the first time I really saw her sort of just go into a shell. You know, for everyone it was a group. For her it was a friendship.
They were brought up as sisters. That's years and years of friendship and loving somebody to just all of a sudden just stop.
She was very sad.
I would speak to Tina, and Tina's like, she wouldn't even get out of bed today, Janella.
It was like the world was caving in on her. I don't think I've ever seen her that depressed.
Stehen Kelly und Beyonce nun alleine da? Die Zielscheibe der Presse, Beyonce.
Was all over the papers. It was every time you turned on the television. And, you know, she was being presented as this blood-sucking diva.
I remember having a conversation with her, and she was so distraught.
There was this DJ that made up a joke about us, you know, who's going to be the last Destiny's Child member on the island.
Seht, wie Beyoncé allen Spöttern das Gegenteil beweist.
She was like, oh, you want to make jokes, huh? I'm a survivor.
All das gleich im dritten und letzten Teil von Driven, Beyoncé Knows.
I'm a survivor. When the lineup for Destiny's Child changed and the two members decided to exit, Beyonce spent a lot of time in prayer trying to figure out what they were going to do.
Was it going to be Kelly and Beyonce? You know, was that going to be the right balance? You know, Destiny's Child was now two girls, or what?
They interviewed some singers.
The girls had gotten to know Farrah. Farrah was an extra in a music video. She was a pretty girl, so Farrah joined the group.
So they was like, do you know anybody else? And I'm like, I know this one girl.
Michelle was a great singer, so it was like immediate. It was like, you have to give us an answer now, and you have to come to Houston now.
It was kind of like a phone call today, and tomorrow you got to get on the plane because we got to shoot Say My Name.
Say my name, say my name, my name is around you, baby, I love you.
Say My Name was the first video with the two new members.
It was so nerve-wracking because, okay, this is a new Destiny's Child. You know, like, okay, what are they about?
Say my name.
Anytime that you go through members, people are going to be talking. You know, there's definitely a buzz and rumors fly.
There's a lot of mud slung in and around the music industry.
When you have a group and you're like the person who's out forefront, people always tend to point the finger at you.
Anything negative that happens, Beyonce gets blamed for.
Why is this pressure all on me?
The lead singer takes all the flack. You know, that comes with the territory.
The press and everyone completely targeted her.
Oh, she's a diva. Oh, she's this and she's that.
Was it all over the papers? It was every time you turned on the television. And, you know, she was being presented as this blood-sucking diva.
And then, yeah, she's got a whole nother thing attached to it that her dad's the manager.
The obvious angle for the press was Matthew was the Svengali, that Beyonce was getting all of the attention. It was unbelievable. The hate mail completely and totally targeting Beyonce specifically.
I remember having a conversation with her, and she was so distraught. She was like totally in tears. I couldn't even understand what she was saying.
We wouldn't even tell her some of the things we read because we know how she would react to it. She would just get so depressed when people would make judgments on her and call her a diva.
It's a very unforgiving type of industry. Fortunately, what we've learned to do is to make the media work for us.
Even negative press can be good press. There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Definitely helped them with sales.
It sort of was a mixed blessing. In a crazy kind of a way, it worked to her advantage. It was putting eyes on her. And for her to be able to rise through that just made her a bigger star.
Farrah was in there for 5 months, and it felt like 5 minutes.
Farrah had more in mind as far as to be a solo artist.
First of all, I'd like to say that one of our members couldn't make it today, but because we love you so much, we still have to come and give you a wonderful show.
For her to come into a group that was already established and there was already a forefront person was kind of hard for her, so I think that's why that situation didn't work out.
On the phone, the 3 remaining members of Destiny's Child, Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle.
We have to say that Farrah was not kicked out of Destiny's Child. She actually didn't show up for 3 major promotional events. So we all agreed that Farrah and Destiny's Child should part ways.
The transition was easy for some reason. It was like, okay, she's gone. She wasn't here that long. We just gotta go on.
Beyonce definitely found stability in the trio.
When it's right, everybody knows, and everybody knew that those 3 girls, it fit.